what a better welcome than with ABBA, I Cannot Imagine One. Thank you all very much for coming here today and for joining the ALDE Congress. It's actually my pleasure to welcome you. My name is Svenja Hahn. I'm a member of the Bureau of the ALDE Party, and it's a real pleasure to debate today with two liberal role models. With this opening, we want to talk a bit about what is the liberal footprint in the von der Leyen Commission. I'm a member of the European Parliament myself, and I remember very well when we started the campaigns in 2019, there were two very big topics. It was about digitalization, and it was about combating climate change. And those were the two big priorities of the Commission, alongside fighting the good fight to keep up the rule of law. But then the world happened. We're in a health crisis. We have war on European soil now. So a lot has come on top of that. And we have quite some liberal champions in the European Commission. We have with us Executive Vice President Margrethe Vestage, and we have Vice President Vera Jourova, who have been very pristine and working in their fields to fight for liberal policies. You're the champion for the rule of law to really bring new instruments as well. And you're the queen of digital Europe. I read, I think, in Politico once about that. So you both have been certainly leaving a footprint on this mandate. So we wanted to talk a little bit about what you're proud of, what you think you have achieved as an individual, but also as a commission as a whole, of course, from a liberal and centrist perspective, because also we're 1 year left to the European elections, and it feels the challenges we're facing have grown increasingly. So what can we look back, and where are the areas where we cannot let down, where we cannot rest, where we need to keep pushing, especially as liberals? So I'm really, really happy to have you here and to have you share your first-hand experience. So looking back and looking forward is always a good time, and also getting us in the mood for Congress and the European elections. So, if I may start, with a question to the both of you. What is it that you think that you could have left a footprint on, where you very proud of the achievements in your roles, but also as a team in the Commission? Vestage.
Well, as you can see, the world's on fire. and I think that to a very large degree has been sort of the metaphor starting out as a geopolitical commission. Because of course you're right to say that pandemic, energy crisis, it's amazing. It works if you turn it on. No, you're right to say that the world happened, but the world happened to every one of us. And I think it's really interesting to see what we achieved as a team, because the pandemic showed unique European cooperation. Just take the vaccine strategy. Just imagine we did not have a vaccine strategy. Then when heads of state and government, they met, 5 had everyone vaccinated, 5 had non-vaccinated, those in the middle, so-so. That might have been the last European Council, because it's literally a question of life and death. But in Europe, every country could start vaccinating on the same day. And every second vaccine was exported out of Europe. That's a geopolitical commission. That's a commission and a Europe that doesn't only take care of oneself, but also of the rest of the world. Then the Corona Pass. Now, I think 44 countries outside of Europe use that as well. And then, of course, the pandemic and the energy crisis, and worst of all, that war is back. Of course, there was the war in the Balkans. That was really bad. But this is a war of invasion. And also here the unity has been outstanding. On the sanctions, on the weapon support, on the humanitarian support, on the welcoming of the people who cannot be where they want to be, which is at home. And here I think Liberals has a very, very strong stake. And at the same time, we pushed on everything else. There has been no wavering in making sure that we fight climate change every day of the week. I think Liberals, and the Liberals in Parliament in particular, has been very instrumental in enabling the Fit for 55, that we got more ambitious. Because we're in a situation where acceleration is needed. And the second thing in that respect is that Liberals have enabled that we now go industrial scale in fighting climate change. Because we want societies that are dynamic and vibrant and innovative and carbon neutral. And this is also why the discussion among Liberals, and I think that is really important, is not how to stop growth, but how to stop exploitation of our planet. And those are two very different concepts. Because of course we need growth. Because we need still better health systems. We need still better working conditions. We need still to do more for all the other things. And also here I think the Liberal group has set a tone that would otherwise not have been there. So I think a lot has been done, and the other big strategy that you also mentioned, how to make the best use of digital technologies, the focus here has been the individual, your rights, your privacy, use it to improve human conditions, and of course, that the market should stay open, so that every small business has a fair chance of making it out there. That, I think, is a very clear Liberal footprint. And that is what the Digital Markets Act and Digital Services is all about. And Vera will tell you this 1,000 times better than I can do it. But insisting that rule of law is not something that you just signed, but rule of law is the living foundation of everything we do. That, I think, is a very strong Liberal footprint. I'm so honored to work with Vera, to work with Didier, who's been mastering this. And I think this, it really deserves a round of applause, what has been achieved.
Thank you very much, Executive Vice President. I think what is the basis of that, what I'm hearing is Liberal brought a balance between the powers, between the forces. We had the power shift also in the Parliament. It's always referred to our group being the kingmakers. So I'm really keen to hear how you experience, Vice President Jourova, the balance that Liberals bring to the table in the Commission.
Thank you very much, and thank you for inviting me, dear Liberal family. Margrethe, you are quite a friend. Thank you for such a chance to now be bigger than normal. I think that balance is a good word, but I think that there is one new word which is accompanying us in this period of the Commission, and it's courage. Courage to do unprecedented things under pressure, because the crisis which we went through in the previous mandate, remember, we thought that with every new crisis, this is the end, we will not be maybe able to manage Brexit, Trump in the White House, migration, terrorism. And then in this Commission, COVID came, of course, the war, also the overall a very radical increase of uncertainty in the society because of climate change and because of the very quick digital changes. So we needed to collect a lot of courage to do new things and to show the people that we are relevant. When I speak about we, of course I speak about Commission, but maybe let's speak about the EU because it is also applying to the EU. I always hated when I heard that the EU is a construction for good weather. Remember, Margaret, Pope Francis said in 2014 that the EU behaves like an old granny. And I was afraid that he is a kind of right, that we are too slow, not lazy, but not able to come up with...
But you're a granny, and he couldn't possibly have thought of you, because, well, you know that a real granny is just because I just became a grandmother.
Oh, congratulations! Thank you very much.
She only has one.
I only have one.
I have 5.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
So it's just to say that the European Union should take that as a compliment, because a granny is an experienced, dynamic, forward-looking person who's not only engaged in the future, but passionate about the future, because she knows the people who are going to live in it.
I'm afraid he didn't mean this kind of granny.
But you know, we're in politics, it's about branding as well. Huh?
But now coming to the bad weather. Yes, we go through bad weather. And somebody very wise said that, of course, it's important what happens, but 90% more important is how you react. I think that we are managing to come with proper reactions. On COVID, you mentioned the vaccination and the COVID certification, which saved several industrial and services sectors. And it was quick and proper solution. And now the war, I can tell you as somebody whose first memory in life is the Russian tank in my street in Czechoslovakia in 1968, I am so grateful and so proud that the EU is responding as one man and one woman, doing the proper thing, sending money, sending ammunition, helping the refugees, supporting Ukrainian state to go on, supporting the accession process. And I think that the reaction on the war is something which makes us bigger. Also, now we show that we even have the courage to grow geographically and politically with the accession. And we would not be able to do that and to have such a tough reaction without being absolutely strong on our values, because the values is something which keeps us together. And Margaret mentioned the rule of law. I would mention